If you clicked on this video, I'm gonna guess you've probably heard of high ticket sales or remote closing. And I'm also gonna guess that some guru has told you that all you need to do to make $10,000 a month as a closer is to go send a bunch of DMs to big Instagram accounts or post in random Facebook groups. And somehow you'll magically land this amazing opportunity and start closing $5,000 deals the next week by reading off of some script. Now, for the small percentage of you that actually went and took action, first of all, congratulations on doing that. But second, you'll know that this advice is complete bullshit. The truth is, you need much more than just some copy-pasted DMs on social media to actually land a good closing opportunity. And it takes even more than that to successfully close deals for these types of businesses. So in this video, I'm gonna reveal the truth about high ticket sales. And specifically, I'm gonna show you the real reason you're not getting interviewers or getting hired. What these successful business owners and influencers actually looking for when hiring sales reps. And finally, if you don't have any experience, I'll show you what you can do about it right after this video to land your first real closing gig. And no, it's not gonna be posting in Facebook groups. Now, before we dive in, my name is Rome, like the city. And over the last 5 years, I've sold over $9 million of online programs as a high ticket sales rep for some of the biggest names in the industry, including guys like Ty Lopez. And today I run an agency that places closers for some of the top online coaches businesses in the world right now. So I actually know what these business owners are looking for when it comes to hiring sales reps. So let's address the elephant in the room. Why isn't the advice you got from these gurus working? Now, just to be clear, my biggest problem with these gurus isn't that they're trying to sell you on becoming a high ticket closer. In fact, high ticket sales is by far the best ways to make money online today. And I've seen so many lives transformed by it, myself included. The real problem I have is that these gurus make it sound like another get-rich-quick scheme, where you don't need to put a lot of effort in to actually succeed. And the truth is, high-ticket sales isn't just about memorizing a sales script and blasting out DMs to get hired. From my experience of working with hundreds of business owners who are hiring closers, here's what these people actually want. First of all, these business owners aren't going to just hire people they've never heard of from random Facebook groups. You have to understand that closers are one of the most important roles in any business. And they're not just there to collect money. They also represent the company as a whole and are one of the most important steps in the customer's journey. So these business owners who invest millions of dollars into ads and building their brand, they're not just gonna risk hiring someone who isn't a great fit for the role. Instead, what they'll usually do is come to agencies like us with a proven track record of training and placing reps that actually perform from day one. Or they'll reach out to their network to see if other business owners know any good closers. The point is, they're going to do as much as they possibly can to avoid the risk of making a bad hire. Now, that's not to say that you can't still find a good offer on your own, but it's not going to be as simple as spamming outreach DMs on social media. Because think about it, everybody is doing the same thing as you. And if you look exactly the same of the hundreds of other people reaching out to these businesses with no experience and no way to stand out, then there's zero chance you're even going to get an interview, let alone get hired. For example, back when I was just getting started, I was reaching out to coaches, entrepreneurs, and no one would even entertain me. And even when I did get a response, they would usually ask for some experience and references, and obviously I had none. So with that being said, how do you actually set yourself apart? Well, let's start by going over what these business owners actually want. First, they want to hire people who actually know how to sell. And I know that sounds obvious, but for some reason, people actually believe that sales is something they can just start tomorrow with zero experience and start making 10K a month with. Yes, good businesses will train you on their sales process. But at the end of the day, if they don't think you can perform quickly after they invest resources into you, then they're not even gonna bother wasting time on you in the first place. Now, of course, the best way to demonstrate that you know how to sell is to actually have closed a good amount of deals yourself. For example, I could literally go up to any 7 or 8 figure coaching business, show them my resume, and there is an extremely high chance I'll at least land an interview for a closing role. But I know a lot of you watching this don't have that sort of experience. So what's the second best option? Well, ideally, if you have any other direct sales experience, like door-to-door sales or corporate sales, this would still be a huge advantage compared to having no experience. Or if you can demonstrate that you're good at having conversations, particularly sales conversations through something like recordings of mock calls or role plays, that's also better than nothing. Of course, if all you have are these secondary options, then you'll likely need to take more swings at bat or go for smaller coaches and businesses before someone will give you a chance. Now, let's just say you actually do have some experience. It still doesn't mean you're guaranteed to get hired. Because like I said earlier, hiring a closer is a big deal. If you actually want to get hired, then there's still one more big box you need to check off, and that is trust. Remember, the most important thing for these business owners is being able to trust that they're not about to hand over a key part of their business to an idiot that's gonna ruin their reputation. And these days, anyone can fake their resume. So what else can we use to build trust? Well, the first step is your online presence. No matter what method you're gonna use to reach out to these businesses, one of the first things they'll do is check your social media. And if there's anything on it that shows you might not be an A player or that you're not who you say you are, then there's very little chance recruiters are gonna give you the time of day. So you want to make sure that at the very least, there is no stupid or embarrassing photos of you on any of your socials. You don't need to wear a suit and tie or anything, but you'll want to at least have a clean profile picture, a couple of decent looking photos, and even better if you can show that you have some sort of relevant experience or even connections in the space. For example, I have friends and coaches in the industry who get blasted with DMs by people who want to close for them with one picture posted and 5 followers. And their bio says, close $500,000 in high ticket offers. And they're sending messages like, hey, I'm looking to close for you. I love your brand. Fuck off. No, you don't. The point is, you want to look like a professional who's smart, who's good with people, and can get shit done. Now, even with that being said, there's actually one more secret that no other guru will tell you when it comes to the high ticket sales industry. And that is the most important factor for getting hired into high quality closing opportunities isn't reaching out to hundreds of businesses. It's not having the best looking social media profile, and it definitely is not telling recruiters, I bought 2 courses on sales, now you should hire me. The real secret to having a lucrative and long-lasting career in sales is actually building a strong network and reputation. Yes, that means getting other people to know, like, and trust you before you try to work with them. You have to understand, success in sales and in business are both built upon relationships. And the truth is that winners want to make sure that they're only sharing their piece of the pie with other winners whom they trust. And there's no better way to win that trust than being known or referred by other credible people in the industry that have already built their reputation up. Even in my case, the only reason I got to close for Ty Lopez, one of the biggest coaches in the online space, is because my mentor, Dylan Blues, who was well connected in the online space, vouched for me. Okay, at this point, you're probably wondering, Rome, how on earth am I supposed to get hired on one of these offers if I have 0 sales experience and if I have 0 connections in the industry? Well, it depends on where you are and what your current goals are. If you're serious about doing sales, then one of the fastest ways to improve your skills and get on a high-paying offer is to join a program that'll teach you the skills you need and that will actually place you like I do with my agency. Now, it doesn't have to be my program, right? You can go with whoever you want. But if you're looking for a combination of a place where you can improve your skills so you can actually close deals, access to lucrative offers that can pay you anywhere from $10K a month up to $50K a month, and you want to be able to build the network, connections, and credibility that can actually guarantee you a spot with one of these opportunities, There are very few places you'll be able to find all three of these things. But obviously, I understand that not everybody is in a place to be able to afford something like this. So if you're somebody who either doesn't have the money or don't want to spend any money to invest in yourself, first of all, I'll be very clear. It's not going to be easy. However, it is still 100% possible. I see a lot of beginners who work their ass off, learn as much as they possibly can on their own. And even though their first offer isn't the best one, they're still able to get their foot in the door through tons of hard work. But just like any beginner in any new industry, if you want to take this route, then you'll have to take on more risk and downside at the beginning to make up for the fact that you have no credibility. So how do you actually go about this? Well, first of all, the most important thing is to actually make sure you know how to sell. You can put in as much effort as you want to land interviews, but if you can't actually close any deals, then no business is gonna keep you around for long and you'll hurt your reputation. Now, if you've never sold anything, or even if you have, but you're not confident that you can close at a 30 or 40% close rate, then I highly recommend you find some content online to learn how to sell. There's some free courses out there, but if you want to learn the actual framework I personally use to close over 9 million at over 50% close rate, and also have taught this to hundreds of other closers, I actually have a full video breaking it down on my channel that shows you exactly how I approach every single one of my calls. Another thing you can do is to join a free community where you can practice with other beginners and get feedback on your calls. However, I will say that this might actually hurt you in some cases, because sometimes the feedback or practice you get will be low quality, which might prevent you from actually improving. Now, when it comes to actually trying to land your first offer, you have a few options. First, you can still do outreach, but instead of trying to get hired as a regular closer right away, you can offer to either work for free, or you can reduce the risk for your clients by offering to pay them something like $2 for each of their leads to cover their marketing costs. And you can try to close for their program until you prove yourself. The point is, if you don't know how to swim, start off in a pond, and as you gradually get better at swimming, you can begin to enter bigger waters. Now, I want to be very clear. Just because you offer to take some of the risk up front doesn't mean they'll automatically say yes. Like I said earlier, closers are also the representatives of the company. If you look like a bum or talk like a bum, nobody is gonna let you do free work on their leads, no matter how attractive your offer is. That's not the only thing. Remember, the most important thing when it comes to finding and landing great opportunities is to build your network and reputation. So if you're brand new with no experience or connections, this will naturally be harder to do at first, but you can still find ways to start building those relationships today. For example, if you can't afford to join a program just yet, at least try to spend your money on getting into cheaper paid communities that have experienced closers and business owners in them. Another option is to go find ways to offer value to people in the industry to slowly build relationships with them. Go engage with their content, join their communities or any live workshops they run, and share resources or content with them that you think will actually be valuable to them. And eventually, you can initiate a conversation with them and ask them if they're currently hiring or if they know anybody else in their network that is hiring. Yes, this is gonna be a lot of work, but you only need to land one offer to completely change your life. So it is 100% worth investing in these relationships. So if I was starting over today, this is the actual route I would take to get my first closer role. Again, it is much faster to just pay to join a program with a proven track record. And personally, that is exactly what I would do if I wasn't completely broke. But if I had to make it happen with no money, then these are the exact steps I would follow. And yes, it is hard. This isn't gonna be some walk in the park. The whole reason I made this video is to give you a realistic, no bullshit view on what this industry is really like, so that you can understand what it really takes to succeed. If you want the six-figure opportunity, you have to be worth the six-figure opportunity. If you're not the person who can run a marathon, train yourself to be able to run a marathon. But what I will say is that despite all that, sales is 100% worth it. It has completely changed my life, and I've seen it change the life of hundreds of other guys too. Now, this video is more of a high-level overview of what the high-ticket sales industry is actually like. But if you want to learn the exact step-by-step process of how to actually become a high-ticket closer, I recorded an hour-long video that shows exactly how I left my six-figure job at IBM to 20K a month in less than 90 days. So go check out this full free training video that I posted on my channel here. Ciao.